WrestleMania 40, one of the most hyped up events in the last few years. It was always going to be hyped regardless because of the fact that it's WrestleMania, but this is the 40th one, an event mostly built around redemption. Similar to WrestleMania 29, Cody Rhodes was on a mission to right last year's wrong and finally overcome the bloodline and Roman Reigns. I knew it was going to take a while to get to this point, but here we are. It's Rocky 3-esque stuff with Cody being Balboa and Roman being Mr. T. He beat him so badly that he had to go back to the drawing board and fix his mentality. It's brought doubts upon Cody Rhodes. He even gave his title shot to The Rock, but through it all, he came out of it much more determined and much more prepared to face the tribal chief. What is up, guys? Wrestling Premiere is here. So today's video is actually supposed to be something a little bit different. We were gonna drop WrestleMania 40 predictions anyways, but I knew I had to really drop that after I figured that today's video was going to be done. I'm currently working on it, but yeah, let's get into it. So WWE's been doing well recently. Their business is upwards and there's an excitement around the product that hadn't been seen or felt in a while. I personally don't watch the weekly shows at the moment, but I always watch the pay-per-views. The UFC formula seems to be working a lot and gives the shows a much grander spectacle never seen before. So let's give my predictions for WrestleMania. Jay versus Jimmy Uso. So brother versus brother. This is a natural storyline between Jimmy and Jay. I didn't really think we'd see it until SummerSlam of last year where Jimmy turned heel and decided to rejoin the bloodline even though he was the rebel in the story. He hasn't done as well as his brother because of the fact that he's closely associated to the bloodline. With Jay though, it's very different. He's on Raw and he's forced to change things up with a fresh new character. This in turn has made him into one of the most popular wrestlers on the entire roster. A match with Jimmy in my opinion will go one way. A loss. Jay doesn't have much to gain from beating Jimmy, whereas the same can be said for his brother. Yeah, it'd be a nice moment for him to beat Jimmy and all that, but I just don't think they're going to do it. They're going to go with the swerve. You know, they tend to do this a lot. I don't even know why. I personally would prefer for Jay to win, but I'm guessing it's going to be Jimmy Uso. Gunther versus Sami Zayn, the most dominant Intercontinental Champion of all time in the ring general. So Sami Zayn's been in an awkward situation recently. It feels like this isn't supposed to be his match. It should have been Chad Gable's. He's somewhat involved with a story with Zayn having doubts about himself, and I'm sure these two are going to go all out and give us a classic. These two have no problems showing up on the biggest show, so I doubt it will disappoint. The match will most likely be a memorable one, but I think it ends with Gunther retaining the title. Zayn seems like a great choice, but the moment Gunther loses the title, he most likely goes up to the main event scene. I don't see that happening now, and there's a little more to explore with Gunther before he loses the title. I don't think Zayn is going to be the guy to end it. It's most likely going to be Chad Gable. Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill versus Damage Control. So this match to me is very obvious. Jade Cargill's WWE debut makes her look like one of the biggest stars in the entire company. It's clear that they have big plans to push her. Naomi's mostly been a mid-card talent since she's returned. She's kind of the same as she was previously. And Bianca is Bianca, you know. She's always a star they're going to push. She's probably going to have a title match next year, I'm expecting her to, because she's that talent. She's the woman they push. As for Damage Control, they haven't been the most dominant, so the result is obvious to me. Asuka's going to lose at WrestleMania again. I don't expect this to even be a long match. It's probably going to be less than 10 minutes if I had to guess. But yeah, I expect Jade Cargill and Naomi to have a strong showing, especially Cargill herself. She is a talent they're going to push. If you've seen her recently, you know and understand why they're going to push her. The LWO versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. Dragon Lee on the biggest stage with Rey Mysterio. Scratch that. I'm making this video. Turns out Dragon Lee's been attacked and replaced by Andrade. Now, is it unfortunate for Dragon Lee to be taken out of the card? Damn right. It's very unfortunate. Hell, it's messed up. The fact that this guy probably expected himself to be on the WrestleMania card, having a big showdown with Rey Mysterio, his son, and Santos Escobar, and they kick him out. Come on. But I will say, if there was one guy you'd want him to be replaced by, it's Andrade. It is messed up, though. I'm going to say right now, it is messed up. Because just imagine, you're on the cusp of being on the biggest WrestleMania in a while, and they take you off the card. It'd be messed up. This match kind of came from out of nowhere. I thought it was going to be Rey versus Escobar because of the way they were building the feud. This is much more interesting though as they revisit the Mysterio family story. I didn't mind them doing the former match, but this has more heat to it, but because I don't think Rey would have been booked to lose to Escobar. Here, it's a little more open and the dynamics are interesting. I say Rey and Andrade win this one again. Dominic will eventually have a singles win over Rey in the future, but at WrestleMania, it's going to be the good guys on top. I do find it funny how they had to take away Dragon Lee, but Andrade is most likely going to make make the most out of that opportunity. One of the most talented wrestlers in the entire company, and the fans are going to get to witness that if they have the time. 6-pack ladder match. It feels like the Judgment Day have been tag team champions longer than 7 months. I think it's because they dominate TV time on Raw, so it blends in and makes it seem longer than it is. This is for both tag team titles with a bunch of teams. 12 minutes is a lot of people for a ladder match, but it does guarantee that the match never gets dull. Plus, both titles are on the line, so if one team grabs one, they win that title. This makes it obvious that they're splitting the titles, so I think it's going to be good and entertaining, but I think the Judgment Day loses the titles here. The Miz and R-Truth grab one, and DIY grab the other. This leads to the tag team split in the Judgment Day storyline in the future, so that's my prediction. Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch for the Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley's title reign has been going on for a year now, and to be honest, this title reign wasn't good. It wasn't, and to prove that, name 5 great matches from the title reign. Exactly. She didn't have the best opponents, and usually when a title reign goes down like this, it's expected for the talent to look weaker. That isn't the case with her. Rhea Ripley has turned into a bigger star and one of the newer talents that WWE has established. No matter what happens in the future, she is one of the big talents they look to for the women's storylines. With that said, this match could have main evented another time. Becky's story is about that. Rhea knows how good she is, but she herself doesn't believe it, and this will be a huge match. It's one of the biggest that WWE could do, and I'm expecting it to surprise people a little bit. Rhea Ripley, though, will retain the title and move on to other competitors. Becky winning would be a huge moment, but not at the detriment of Rhea's storyline. The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. The biggest match in a while. The Rock returns to the ring, a part of the bloodline, and teams up with Roman Reigns. To be honest, it hasn't been the best month for Roman Reigns. It feels like he's checked out and done, which is very unfortunate, because if prime Roman Reigns was involved, the story would be even better, but nobody expected The Rock to dominate like he did. This guy grabbed the storyline and ran away with it. I still believe that it wasn't the original plan, but man, Rock has shown everybody that he's still somebody that they should consider to be an all-timer. He was always an all-timer, and this run isn't going to make him even better than he already was, but it's very enjoyable, and people are going to look back on it positively. He's the man when he's not supposed to be the man, and I wonder, what would be of WrestleMania 40 if it wasn't for The Rock? Up to last week, they relied on him a little too much with this Final Boss storyline. Rollins and Cody have been playing their part, but with Roman being missing from the build, it shines a brighter light on The Rock. With that said, if Rock and Roman win, that's Bloodline rules. That's the storyline. Anything goes on night 2, where if Cody and Seth win, the Bloodline is barred from ringside. Hell, Cody even has a stipulation against him. If he loses the night 2 match, it's his last chance at the undisputed WWE Championship. The Rock will probably take it easy here. If he actually puts in a great performance, it will only make this run look greater. The match is going to have a lot of drama to it, but I think it will end with Rock and Roman standing tall, giving Cody some doubts heading into his match with Roman on night 2. I don't think Seth will turn heel. I hope Seth doesn't turn heel. If he does, though, it will happen at the match. It won't. I don't think it'll happen before. But my prediction is that he won't turn heel. We already got Drew McIntyre doing some great heel work. It would only make things complicated between the two, unless Rollins goes on a hiatus, which is a whole other story in itself. So we're on to the night 2 matches. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. So Seth gets a match against Drew. He took this opportunity and ran with it. This guy's the ultimate troll and somebody who hides a lot of his bitterness with jokes about others. This was supposed to be CM Punk's match, but he came down with an injury. This didn't stop WWE from involving him in the storyline. Rollins has been carrying a lot throughout the past year, and I'm sure they're going to use the previous night's main event as part of the story. Drew has built a lot of momentum with his heel turn and has changed things for himself. He knows that this was a huge chance in light of Punk's injury and will stop at nothing to convince WWE that he's the guy to win the title. They probably extended the contract, although who knows. This one, though, is going to have a new champion, Drew McIntyre. That's my prediction. Because he has a lot more to explore with the storyline. Seth Rollins, of course, has more to explore after losing the title. It's better all around. The Pride versus the Final Testament. This is a Philadelphia street fight. I expect this to last for under 10 minutes, but showcase the Pride as a dominant trio. They haven't been pushed hard recently, which is kind of strange. Bobby Lashley still has something to offer at the highest level, and this faction could provide yet another opportunity, but it is what it is, you know. The Final Testament has been around. They're not doing much as well, so this is a matter of who's a bit stronger, and that's the Pride. I just don't think they're going to lose this one. They're my pick for this match. Bobby Lashley's going to cause destruction. The Street Profits are going to dive all around. And in the end, they're going to stand tall as the winners. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. This story's been dragged for a bit, but in their credit, they actually went all out with it recently. LA Knight is generally considered to be one of the talent that's next up. He's 40, and even then it feels like the future is bright for him. The crowds have slightly decreased their interest in him. It's not as red hot as before, but I think things are still going to look good. AJ Styles is mostly around, and while his best days are behind him, I will find it sad the day he retires, which isn't too far out. This seems like a regular pay-per-view match, but it's going to be great for LA Knight. I don't think he loses this one. He's probably going to build momentum for something at SummerSlam for the US title. EOS Sky versus Bayley. Now, I'm going to be honest. This storyline peaked the moment it was confirmed. It's unfortunate, but that's how it feels. Why? Well, ever since The Rock and Roman's story took front stage, this one has been a little forgettable. And the steam ahead was taken away the moment everyone knew Rock and Roman would team up to face Cody and Seth on night one, you know? Because everyone thought, oh, this might be the main event for night one. It took away from it. You know, it's not a bad storyline. You know, Bayley's getting jumped by the people she used to know and whatnot. But I'm pretty certain if they had that main event slot, it would be a lot more interesting than it was. With that said, though, I expect EOS Sky to have a great match with Bayley here. It's going to be a good match, hopefully. I'm optimistic about it. I've been going back and forth on whether or not Bayley or EOS Sky is going to win. I'm not even sure, honestly. So I'm just going to say one or the other. I'm going to say EOS Sky, though. I think EOS Sky is going to retain in the end. It does seem strange in a way, but they always do these swerves and they can never guess. I'm trying to predict the card as it is, and I'm guessing EOS Sky is going to retain that title. I'd be happy to be wrong, though, you know? But my pick is EOS Sky. Randy Orton versus Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship. So this was a random pair. It's not so random when you look at the storyline, but if you look at it from WrestleMania 39 time, yeah, it was definitely weird. Randy Orton's been back. He's more humble, I'd say. That's not the right word. He's more appreciative of his time in the ring, you know? You could see him. He enjoys almost every single second in there. And I kind of expected him to face somebody like Cody Rhodes, but this is their way of showing that they value him to face Logan Paul. I know some people won't say the same. Same thing with KO as well, you know. He has to have a spot on the card. It's very important because he's Kevin Owens. And this is going to be a great match. I think this is going to be much better than the previous Logan Paul matches because Logan Paul's not going to be pigeonholed and forced to work a certain style. He could jump around, look a bit goofy next to Randy Orton and KO, fly in the air, do much more interesting stuff. I think it opens the way for him. The result, though, is going to be Logan Paul. I don't see Randy Orton nor Kevin Owens winning this one. I still think that U.S. title is LA Knights in the future. Neither of them. It's not for them. And Logan Paul's going to do what he did during this build. He's going to be a sneaky heel and find a way to escape. So that's my pick, Logan Paul. And the main event, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. Okay, this is the one we've been waiting for. It's been 1 year. 1 year since Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns faced off. And I've been waiting for it. I did expect it to happen at WrestleMania 40, but of course there's always doubts. We've seen this story with The Rock being the final boss and whatnot. By the way, I think this is going to be Bloodline rules. This is going to be anything goes because the Bloodline won the previous night. I expect this to be chaotic and absolutely balls out of this world ridiculousness, the likes we haven't seen in decades. This is going to be absolute insanity in a good way. It's going to be in a good way. They're going to go out there, destroy each other. Interference from freaking Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, maybe Rikishi. The referee might turn heel during a moment. Stone Cold might come out. John Cena comes out. Everyone's going to come out for this one. It's going to be absolute insanity. It's basically going to be like the Avengers Endgame. I expect this to be good. I hope it is. Roman Reigns hasn't been really out there recently. You know, I just don't see much about him at the moment. It's very unfortunate because we've seen what he was capable of previously. And The Rock just took his spot like that. If anything, that should be the WrestleMania main event with the way things are going. Rock has done a tremendous job. He's absolutely made things amazing. He's carried this WrestleMania build in all honesty. And the way things are going, it makes it seem like Roman Reigns is going to lose. I know, last year, oh, he's going to lose. I thought that again. I thought he was going to lose last year. But he didn't. This guy didn't lose last year, which caught me by surprise. This year, though, I'm still going with Cody Rhodes. And this is my prediction. With Roman Reigns, it's a bigger problem if he actually retains because he's not going to lose at SummerSlam. He's definitely not going to lose at Survivor Series. And who knows, he might even not lose at WrestleMania next year. They'll probably be like, oh, it's time to follow the Bruno record because up to that point, it'll be almost 5 years since he won the title. I'm going with Cody, though. If they go with Roman, there's just nothing to tell. There's not much of a story around Bloodline. How many times are they going to rehash the Bloodline story and change it up? They had freaking Jimmy Uso turn heel, which was absolutely unnecessary. But hey, it opened way for Jay, so there's that. I just see Cody Rhodes winning it, establishing a new era in WWE, and giving the fans a true world champion, the likes we haven't seen in years. Like, I know Seth Rollins is around, but I'm talking number one champion. Yeah, I expect a lot of drama with this main event, and I'm going with Cody Rhodes. That's my pick. Cody Rhodes for this one. He's going to end the title reign here. It's going to be a great moment. WrestleMania 10-esque with the whole roster coming out. You know, Lex Luger, Macho Man, Randy Savage coming out to celebrate Bret Hart here. Probably Seth Rollins if he doesn't turn heel. Rey Mysterio, maybe John Cena and Stone Cold, although I don't see Stone Cold smiling. Probably throw beers if he does show up. It's going to be a good event, hopefully. My pick is Cody Rhodes. So yeah. Alright, those are my WrestleMania picks. Alright, what you guys think of this video? Please comment down below, and that's the first video. Make sure you hit the Superman punch on the like button and perhaps the crossroads on the subscribe button. Peace. I'm out.